Here are my unrehearsed musings on nature of vibrato on a Sunday afternoon. It might be a bit too comprehensive for you, but hopefully you can find something useful in there to help you in your vibrato adventures. So first of all, what is vibrato? Vibrato is basically rhythmic bending of the pitch downwards from the note. So you can have arm vibrato, wrist vibrato, combination, but ultimately it's all about rotation of the fingertip. So I'll talk about developing the fingertip flexibility first. The key to developing fingertip flexibility is being able to isolate muscles that control the middle joint of the finger so that you can stabilize the middle while relaxing the tip. Some things I do with students, if that separation is really difficult, is first you take a pencil and you hold it, let's say with your middle finger, you bend the finger down, trying not to bend the front part. So not this, but just the middle. And then it's quite easy actually to get that feeling. So you do it with every finger. Then you try to get the same sensation without having the pencil. Pencil just helps you, when you have something in there, it helps you feel the muscles better. So then you try to do it without the pencil. And at first it might feel very stressful for the rest of the hand, which is fine. Gradually you try to do the same thing while keeping other fingers relaxed. So even if at first it feels like this, gradually you start relaxing other fingers and try to get the same sensation, right? So you can practice this, have a lot of time in quarantine, just do that, back and forth. So right now I'm actually using the middle joint muscles rather than stabilizing them, but the sensation is generally basically the same, right? Then you can use your thumb and do this. See, I'm moving my right thumb to vibrate my top joint of the index finger, right? But then, instead of moving my thumb, I move my left arm. And see, and that's the beginning of a beautiful vibrato. The key is that when you go back with your arm, left arm, you shouldn't feel any pull on your thumb. The front joint should rotate without any resistance whatsoever. So the next step is you can do it on your hand. So pretend that this bone that's next to the pinky is the string. You put the thumb in your palm and start with the middle finger, put it down and just pull your arm back and make sure that the finger rotates without any resistance. So what you shouldn't see is the skin being pulled back. If you see the skin on the right hand being pulled back, that means there is resistance. So you want it to go completely smooth so that every millimeter of the motion in the arm is translated into the rotation of the fingertip. Nothing is wasted by pulling back. Right? So you practice that until it becomes really, really flexible and easy. Pinky, not everybody can develop the pinky. My pinky is kind of half developed. But the most important, of course, is to be able to do it with 1, 2, and 3. If you can do it with 4, God bless you. But there are other tricks to vibrating with the 4th finger. So when you can do that easily, so if you run into a lot of trouble doing that, you can first start by actually deliberately bending the finger backwards by using these muscles, and then coordinating that motion with pulling the arm back. So first you do it actively with using the middle finger, the middle joint fingers muscles, and then you try to make it more and more passive. Of course, on the anatomical level, you probably are still activating those finger muscles, but it feels just as if you're just stabilizing the middle joint. So when that's working, you take the violin, take it like a guitar, but not like this, obviously like this, and you do the same thing. on the string until that motion is completely effortless. And we do it first with the arm. It's easier actually to develop that using arm vibrato motion. And only when you can do this completely effortless, then you do it here with the actual playing position. Now, that's only half the story. So half the story is developing flexibility of the top joints. The other half is developing a vibrato motion in your arm and hand or wrist. So for that, what I do is I always first work on arm vibrato. So you take a metronome, put it on 60, put your elbow on the table or on your arm, and you pretend like you're gently knocking on the door. You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Gentle rotation so you feel your biceps rolling. So if you can do about 20 of those without a single twitch anywhere, then you start increasing the speed. So you go 65, you go 70, 75, 80, so forth until you get to 120. Then you drop it back down to 60 and it becomes 2 beats per click. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pum, pum, pum. And keep increasing in fives. On the second round, you start decreasing the amplitude a bit. And your final goal is to be able to get to 120 or rather 60 at 4 oscillations per beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should feel effortless and completely even. So if you went to the door or put something, you would hear 1, 2, 3. Absolutely even knocking, no syncopation, and same strength of each knock. In parallel, you can work on the same motion for your wrist. In the beginning, you might take like a keychain or something or a watch in your palm just to feel some weight. And you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so first you start with full oscillation. Of course, you'll never do when you vibrate, but just to get the muscles rolling. Your goal is to feel, again, zero effort in that motion and no spasms. Just absolutely smooth rotation. So you feel like the hand moves just on pure momentum. You give it an impulse and then it flies. You twist your hand a little bit like you are playing, so you feel like there's an invisible wall here and the hand slides along that wall. So again, you do 60, 65, 70, 75, get to 120, drop back down to 60, do 2 beats, two oscillations per beat, 1 and 2 and 1. Right? And then, but again, you only speed up when you can do at least 20 of these without a single syncopation. Absolutely even and smooth. And so when you start doing second round of speeding up, again, you have to diminish the amplitude. So now basically you diminish it by going only away from yourself and not going towards yourself. So you go 1. Make sure that you don't start doing circles, that the hand goes in one line, still along that invisible wall. So again, you bring it up to 120, so it's four oscillations per beat. So same thing, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at that point, if you've already developed your flexibility of the fingertips, you're ready to do actual vibrato. So then you take a metronome, you put it on 60, and you do 4 beats to a bow. You start 8th notes. So I'll start with arm vibrato, but you can do it with both, and you should do it with both arm and wrist. So 4 beats per bow, 8th notes. And you listen that the speed is absolutely even and smooth. And that you're always oscillating the same amplitude. So you do about 4 bows of that, if it's even, if it works well. Then you do triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You do about 4 to 6 bows of that. You do 16th. Then you do 6 couplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And finally 30 seconds. So if you do it correctly, by the time you get to 30 seconds, you should hear like wow, 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 rather than up and down. You should hear like a center pulse. And that's at four pulses per beat. So, and you do it, you do that sequence with every finger. When it gets more stable, I would move the tempo up to 70. The reason being that when you do 4 beats at 70, 30 seconds rather, so that's closer to the speed of like a medium speed of natural vibrato.